Attention network marketers. In less than 3 months, I went from zero to a social audience of over 500,000 people and attracted a six-figure network marketing team without cold prospecting strangers online or offline, chasing friends or family, or sending copy-paste messages to strangers on social media. True story. In this video, I'll be sharing what my inner circle is doing, which is so radically different to create these type of explosive results. But if you'd like to learn this strategy on a much deeper level than I can share in this 3-minute video, click the button below to get access to a free digital recruiting video series, which is transforming the way network marketing is done and rescued me from endless rejection and alienation. You see, when I first got started, I was prospecting literally everyone I knew in a lame attempt to try to get them to a meeting. Friending hundreds of strangers, direct messaging friends with scripted and deceptive messages. And at one point, I actually did use a spam bot to cold message people on social media. Please, please, please don't do that. I was desperate. I was willing to try anything, but I had unfortunately little to show for it. By some miracle, I did manage to enroll a few people, but no one was willing to do what I did, and so fortunately they all quit. My business was going backwards. I was spending more than I was making, and quitting was starting to look really, really attractive. My name is Fernie Ceballos, and if you want to learn how to avoid the pain I went through and how I went from zero to becoming a six-figure plus earner in under 2 years and ultimately 7 figures within 4 years, then you must know that the secret to effortless enrollments and exponential growth in network marketing is to attract, not chase prospects who already want what you have. No convincing, no selling, no pitching strangers. And as an introvert, when I discovered this, it was music to my ears. But how exactly do you do that? Well, if you've been trying to recruit for a while, it might seem like no one wants what you are offering, but that just means you're fishing in the wrong pond. Forget bugging friends and family, forget approaching strangers in public, forget prospecting, period. I know, again, sounds insane, no prospecting, but that includes online prospecting as well. In fact, when I stopped prospecting, my enrollments and duplication accelerated. After having done everything painfully wrong for 9 months, I met someone who was infamous and even hated for having grown his team from 0 to 1,700 people in under 30 days. Seemingly defined the laws of network marketing, and he offered to open up his playbook to me. I was one of the first. And not only did I become a top earner within a couple years of using this strategy, he and I have spent the past decade literally mentoring hundreds of top earners, helping them unlock the secrets of this original attraction marketing formula. Techniques responsible for growing teams of 10,000, 15,000 reps, crowning 7- and 8-figure producers. Truth is, the biggest earners in our profession who have built on social media are very likely our students or students of our students. Thanks to the leaders who have proven this to work again and again, this approach is starting to be embraced little by little by the profession, but there's still many veterans in denial. Your upline might be one of them, but that's okay. We can show you how to change your mind. To discover the formula for yourself, all you need to do is click on the button here to get access to my digital recruiting video series. In this digital recruiting training, I will teach you how to attract your perfect prospect and get them curious about your business without prospecting, without spamming, or being awkward in any way. You'll also learn how to grow a network of highly qualified, warm prospects and get them to know, like, and trust you so they welcome the opportunity to learn more about joining your team. You'll also learn the secret to effortless enrollment without selling or trying to convince people to join you, and even get paid if people don't join you. Finally, for my leaders out there, I'm going to show you how to duplicate and scale with strategies your team will actually enjoy doing every day, so you don't have to babysit or micromanage them. Your team will do the work because they enjoy the process of building instead of dreading it, because let's face it, network marketing, how it's been done for decades, just sucks. Well, that ends now. Again, you can get access right now by clicking the button below. And there's also some bonus resources I'm including with it as well. I look forward to hearing from you and can't wait to hear about your results.
Hi, welcome and thank you for opting into my site. My name is Aaron Finkel, and I have a question for you. Have you ever thought of been uncomfortably comfortable or comfortably uncomfortable? Recently, I've been comfortably uncomfortable. And with that, I mean, have you ever decided to take a risk on something where you're comfortable actually doing the thing that's uncomfortable? Well, recently I got connected with some business partners, and I decided to take some risks. Sometimes it's $1 to check things out. Sometimes it's little bit more, or sometimes it's even a lot more. But the question is, are you willing to take action? Are you willing to take a look at what I have to offer you? Hey, this might not be for you, but the point is you're going to click on the next page and just take an honest look. And with that, I'll see you at another time. Have a good day.
I remember it like it was yesterday. Get the hell out of my house! And I was like, damn. And here I thought she'd be a great prospect for my team. I guess not. This is probably an extreme case, but nonetheless, during difficult moments in my network marketing business, I would ask myself the same question you may be asking yourself. Do home meetings, hotel meetings, one-on-ones, do they still work? Does cold market prospecting, i.e. prospecting strangers in public, your waiter, people at the malls, literally anyone with a pulse, does that still work? What about making a list of 100 friends and family? Well, the answer is yes, that stuff can still work. But there's a big problem. The problem with these old school network marketing methods is that they require you to burn a ton of gas driving around town to meet prospects and attend meetings. Wait, did they say this was a home business or an away from home business? These methods, they're very inefficient and take up a lot of your time. So say goodbye to seeing your kids for the next 3 to 5 years if you're serious. And you gotta deal with a ton of pissed off people and rejection. Anyone here in the NFL club? No friends left? And who the heck wants strangers at their house for a home meeting at 8 o'clock at night? I suspect very lonely people. But for the rest of us who like our personal space or have family with crazy kids terrorizing the house, all this becomes very impractical and even impossible. After 9 months of lots of miles driven, dozens of no-shows, wasted time, and broken relationships, believe it or not, I actually had done pretty well in network marketing, but I absolutely hated what I had to do to succeed. Unfortunately, my team hated all this too, and they started to quit faster than I can recruit them. And then I met Tim. Well, I actually didn't meet Tim. I accidentally found his website where he opened my eyes to the real possibility of building my business online behind my computer or with my smartphone without ever having to leave home. In fact, I built my first 6-figure network marketing business within a couple years of discovering these methods while still living at my mom's house from my tiny 10 by 10 bedroom with a computer, a dream, and a ravenous drive to quit my cubicle prison of a job. Honestly, I didn't even move out of my mom's house until I hit 7 figures in my business. That is not a joke. But hey, can you blame me? Living in California, pretty expensive. But joking aside, I did have a lot of debt and a foreclosure to deal with. But that's a story for another day. The point is I made it. And the bottom line is that now I spend the majority of my time alongside my mentor and now partner, helping other networkers follow the blueprint I personally use to earn over 8 figures in my home business. I can't promise you my results. I can't promise you riches, as my results are not typical, but neither was my drive to succeed. All I can promise you is the opportunity to learn the skill set which completely changed my life and gave me my freedom over 8 years ago. And if you'd like to grab a copy of my best-selling book, The Attraction Marketing Formula, which goes deeper into these methods, for a limited time, I'm willing to have someone on my team personally coach you one-on-one, absolutely free, so you can get the same mentorship I got from Tim, which altered the course of my life. Does that sound cool? Awesome.
An attraction marketer is a courageous breed of network marketer who's smarter, more efficient, and a confident leader. Attraction marketers stand against outdated and painful tactics that don't produce consistent results.
Attraction marketers are modern entrepreneurs who understand leverage and use it with precision to attract and enroll.
Attraction marketers never chase friends and family.
Never approach people with hidden agendas.
And never beg people to join them.
And instead, market their business like true professionals.
Attraction marketers don't work around the clock. They use systems to passively attract new people and grow their team. Attraction marketers are enrolling and rank advancing every day in spite of naysayers who claim attraction marketing doesn't work.
Attraction marketers build their own brand and are never held back by a company, team, or leader who refuse to innovate and evolve. Attraction marketers carry the torch of freedom for top earners who wish to expand their skills, protect their income, and increase their impact.
Attraction marketers always strive to provide value and over-deliver.
Attraction marketers seek to inspire and create impactful relationships. invest in mentorships, are coachable, and take massive action.
Are curious, resourceful, and live outside their comfort zone.
Believe in abundance and are forward thinking.
I am an attraction marketer.
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 I'm an attraction marketer.
I am an attraction marketer.
I am an attraction marketer.
I'm an attraction marketer.
I am 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 an attraction marketer.
I'm an attraction marketer.
Attraction marketer.
I am an 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 attraction marketer.
We are attraction marketers. Woo! We are attraction marketers.
Actually treating them like human beings. Oh my God. As far as tonight goes, our final speaker for the evening is an incredible woman, but also an incredible mentor to us. Finally being realized, like I said earlier during my presentation, Elite Marketing Pro, just even a year ago or even a couple years ago, was essentially a system with links in the back office, great offers that convert, you make some commissions, but the community hadn't really gotten going. And we made a commitment to, grow this community, grow a bond, be a family, know each other, know your names. This is why we meet in person. Live stream is awesome, live stream is great, but you're always missing something if you don't actually get to meet and relate to people. And us as community leaders can't connect with people and really know what you're struggling with so we can adjust and help you guys in the best way possible. And, this lady who I'm about to bring up really kind of, set that fire under our butts. She kept saying community, community. I'm like, what do you mean by community? Like, what does that mean? Because it's such an intangible thing. But very few people can say they built a community that provides them with a 7-figure income. And that is to create a massive community of people. Well, we don't just have leaders that are doing 6 figures. We have leaders that are doing 7 figures with our system alone and on top of what they're doing. And there's no better qualified person that I could think of than Lisa Grossman to teach you some incredible things on how you can foster community and how you can help us grow this community among us. So please put your hands together for the amazing, wonderful Lisa Grossman.
I happen to love this community because it was my first introduction to the scary, I still am a techno idiot, don't understand it world of online marketing. And 3 years later, what I can tell you is offline marketing, online marketing, smoke signal marketing, it doesn't really matter because marketing is human beings connecting to other human beings, coming together to provide value. And I've listened to the speakers tonight, and they were all basically telling you the same thing in different words. It's not about selling anymore, if it ever was, because the world has greatly changed in the last decade or so. Because today, the consumer has all the power. Anybody who has a smartphone in their hand is a reporter, a publisher, and his opinion or her opinion can be broadcast instantly to everybody they know and everybody they don't know. And they have a million choices. Products have very much become commodities. And anybody who doesn't realize that, let me tell you a story because I've been around for so long. When I got started in the home-based business industry, the Mercedes was the it car. Everybody, today it's 6 figures, 7 figures, this, there, the other thing. But back then, everybody wanted a Mercedes. When you were successful, you got you a Mercedes in your driveway. And it was the it car. So much so that it was twice as much as a Cadillac, which was by far more comfortable. Cadillac came in about 18 colors with 27 different option packages and pinstripes and all these different things. Cadillac came in 6. You could get it in 2 colors on the interior. It was sticker price and you waited for it, however long they wanted you to wait. You know what that meant? They could be rude because they had it, you wanted it. Today that's changed. That was the it car a little bit. So if you walk in with, let's say, your 5th Mercedes to trade it into for your 6th Mercedes, and they're rude, you have your kids with you and you don't like the way they treat you, you can walk out the door, walk down the street to Audi or BMW or Lexus or a dozen other brands that have done a pretty good job of establishing themselves as pretty itty. And you can be just as statusy and just as good in your neighborhood with one of those. So Mercedes doesn't have the power anymore. The consumer does. And that's happened with everything. There's not a product today that anybody sells that somebody can't find an alternative product somewhere else if they get upset with you. There's no product that's so good there's not a replacement. So what it all comes down to is experience. It's not about what the product does. It's not about what you can convince somebody it does. It's the person's experience with the product or service. And their experience has very little to do with the actual product or service. It has everything to do with how interacting with that company or that product or service makes them feel about themselves and their connection to it, for lack of a better word. So the way that you future-proof your brand, your personal brand, your community brand against anybody ever leaving is the community that you build. And it starts with you. For example, people start with the broadest community of all and wonder why they have the least amount of success. Everybody wants to make money. Let's go out and tell everybody how much money they're going to make. Well, that's a community. I suppose everybody wants to make money. I live in Dallas and most people root for the Dallas Cowboys. If you go into Dallas Cowboys Stadium on a Sunday, honestly, everybody there will scream and yell for the Cowboys, but if you go out to the parking lot, those people have literally nothing in common, nothing to unite them after that game is over. That's not a community. A strong, united community is brought together because they share a vision of what the world could be like, different from how it is. And when they are together, they feel better about themselves and the world they're creating and and their place in the world and what they can be. And that starts with leadership. So I guess, in essence, you're all a community of one. Because we tend to gravitate toward communities that make us feel comfortable. If you go into the very best communities, the people generally are united in what they believe to be true. They're united in what they want to accomplish. They're usually trying to build something that is greater than making money today or everybody getting rich. They're one for all and all for one. When one person is successful, they all celebrate it. When one person is in trouble, they all rush to help. Does this make sense to everybody? Good, because I want you to think about this, and we're going to talk about the most successful community marketing that we know of on the planet, and then we're going to bring it back to what I think is the things that I've been able to do and because I've watched the best over the years. How many people in the room have an iPhone? Okay, how many people in the room have an Android phone? Okay, a few more have Androids. It's taken Samsung and Android and Google a lot of money to get there, so let's talk about that. Apple is the most successful community marketing in the world. Now, does anybody really believe that Apple builds a better phone? Nobody. Apple won't even tell you that they do. And let's even look at the history of Apple. Apple started out as a computer company. That's what they are. They're a computer company. They were never even the best computer company. They were never the #1 selling computer company. They're still not the #1 selling computer company. They revolutionized the music industry, and they're not a music company. They've completely revolutionized the phone industry, and we're not a phone company. Now, they do not make the best phone. They have 50% of the market share in the United States, about 40% worldwide. Android is gaining. Samsung is the #1 selling Android phone. Let's see. iPhone is on phone number 6 in 8 years. Samsung comes out with about 27 different phones a year in the US alone and different versions all overseas. Their phone is a commodity. They're losing money and market share because all they do is try to build a better mousetrap. Every single month, they're introducing a new phone and a new phone and a new phone because they've made it about having the best phone. They've spent a fortune doing it. They have so many models on the market you can't keep up. And they have 50%, and Android has Google behind them. And it's like an operating system that everybody's making phones for, and they have about 50% of the market share. And Apple's on phone number 6 in 8 years. Half the time it doesn't work. And you can get the phone. When the new one comes out, you can go online, order it, have it delivered to your house. And yet, people line up in the rain around the block worldwide at the Apple store because they want to say that they got the phone in the rain at the Apple store when it came out. Apple has people that are so in love with it that they sell the phone for people. You can't take it away from them. And the younger generation is buying Mac, and they don't even know why. Because Apple is not a phone company. They're not a music company. They're not even a computer company anymore. They're a user experience company. And people love being a part of that community. Does anybody really believe that Nike makes better gym shoes? Just do it. That's Nike. But their image, people love wearing the brand. They don't even know why. Michael Jordan wore them. Michael Jordan's the best basketball player in the world. They must be a good company. They've got a great image. People love being a part of that community because it stands for something. When people come in to Elite Marketing Pro, they come in because of all the things that you talk about, because you can learn how to build a blog or create leads or attract people to whatever it is that you're selling. That's why people join, because they want to do better in their business. They want to build a brand. They want to do all these things that they talk about. But what they really want is they want to be a part of something that is bigger than themselves. They want to be around people that will tell them that it is okay that they are not great at whatever it is they are trying to learn. They want to be around people that they can learn from, who will celebrate them and tell them that you're not supposed to be great on day one. They want to be mentored. They want to get better. They want to be a part of a community and get together with other people that are like them so they can say, you know what? If she can do it, I can do it. If he can do it, I can do it. That's the nature of community. Because while ever people came, everybody in the room may have come here to make 7 figures. And one day, if you stick with it, you will, some of you. And most of you won't. You may only make 6. You may only make 2 times 6. You may only make 3 times 6. You may only make half of 6. That is up to you. The tools are here. But every one of you will be better for being here, or you wouldn't be here. Every one of you comes back, not because you think you're going to make $1 million next week, but because you feel better being a part of it. And you proudly go out and tell other people to come, regardless of the reason you think you are. Because when you walk in here and you walk out, you feel stronger and a better person for being a part of it. People leave companies and people leave systems. People don't leave families, and people don't leave people that impacted and made a difference in their lives. You don't talk. You stop talking about being a leader. Being a leader is not all that great. All kinds of people are leaders. Gangs have leaders. There are leaders of communities in the world right now, on the other side of the world we read about every day, that are not doing good things. Great communities are driven by great leadership. Leaders are not always doing good things. Here's 5 phrases that can change your life. I got them from Adam Braun. They changed mine. Write them down. It's a great recipe for building a community of one. 1, get out of your comfort zone. We've all heard it. There is no happiness inside of it. Everything you want, you will have to get uncomfortable to get. And here's a secret that will help you. If you want to get great at something, you're going to suck when you start. It is the pattern of success. Okay? Repetition is the mother of expertise. Suck, 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 suck. Then you get to mediocre. It's a wonderful day. The first time you do it, you're terrible. The 5th time, you're still terrible. I guarantee you're better than the first. The 10th time, you're okay. The 20th time, you're good. By the 30th time, you're better than most everybody you'll meet because they quit at about 3. Don't be one of those people. Get out of your comfort zone. 2, you need to challenge your assumptions so that you can discover your truths. Everything you assume to be true that you've not investigated for yourself, you are doing yourself a disservice. I meet more people who tell me things don't work or they don't like things that they can't give me 2 viable, coherent sentences of information on. It amazes me. Challenge your assumptions so that you can discover your truths. Most successful people do. You will find that you will say no to many, many, many things in life to find the things that you will say yes to that will change your circumstance. But know what you are saying no to. Do not say no to things out of hand. That's 2. 3, speak in the language of the person that you choose, that you are trying to become or that you wish to become. Great leaders do not speak of things as they are and complain about it. They speak of things as they can be and they lead people toward them. People that inspire greatness have great vision of, with a few tweaks and a few changes, of how a world can be. Once upon a time, what are there in this room, 500 people? Once upon a time, a couple of guys were having a couple of beers talking about the difficulties that they faced, and they were engineers, in trying to communicate messaging and marketing inexpensively, which was possible because of the internet themselves. And if they were having difficulty doing it with all their knowledge, how were regular people who didn't have that kind of technical understanding ever going to be able to do it and realize there might be a business there? And they kept talking about it, and that's how y'all got here today. That's how things start. And you have to see the future in order to make the future happen. So that's 3. 4, and this one's huge. Make the big decisions, make the little decisions with your head, but make the big decisions with your heart. It will never lead you wrong. If it doesn't feel right, don't do it. Communities are a reflection of the people that lead them. Being in a community, you should participate as much as you can. Don't worry about making mistakes. You will. The biggest screw up ultimately becomes the biggest success if they can stand the heat. Don't worry about people laughing at you. They always will until you prove them wrong. That's the nature of the beast. And 5, knowing what you know today and knowing in 10 years that all of what you know will surely not be the same. What can you do to make the greatest impact on the largest number of people? And without a question, that is getting involved with or starting a community that inspires change and solves problems for other people. Now, let's talk for a second about how you do all this, because everybody always gets all caught up in that. Well, how does a baby learn to speak when they're born? We don't go sign them up for language school, send them to a lot of classes, and have them do a lot of grammar and everything else. They hang around their community, which is their parents, their family, the people that raise them. That's the first community we enter into. And they're immersed in it. And eventually you can't shut them up, right? That's pretty much how we learn to speak. Communities are born the same way, but here's the kicker. A baby learns to speak in that first community. The quality of the language that they speak, the way that they articulate their ideas, the ideas they formulate, the things they think about and speak to others, these are all determined by the quality of the community they are raised in. And so it goes with your business. Your success in life will be determined by the communities that you choose to join, the level of participation you choose to take in those communities, the number of mistakes you're willing to make, the amount of time you're willing to deploy so that you can get better, and the types of communities you in turn will go out and start because of that, the types of people you will attract to those communities, the type of leadership you will foster within those communities, the type of replication you will foster within those communities, and the type of leadership that will rise up because of it. Because the neat thing, we always talk about duplication, and people think it's a network marketing thing. It's a human thing. People do what they learn to do by watching others around them that have influence in them. You are influencing far more people than you are being influenced by, whether you realize it or not. You are a significant contributor to communities that you are not even aware have their eyes on you. This community is evolving. This community, once upon a time, was about the stuff. The stuff is important. The stuff is what makes it run. The ideas and the vision are what makes it soar. Everybody that you know may not want to blog. They may not want to set up a capture page. They may not want to do those things. Chances are, if they don't want to do those things, it's because they don't know what they want to say. They don't have a vision of what they want to express. They don't want to acquire an audience because they don't know what they would say to an audience. And that's your job. Because today, if you have something you want to do, an idea that can make the world better, a service that can improve people's lives, a product that you honestly believe in that can help people in any way, it would not make sense to not deliver it as efficiently, as effectively, and as inexpensively as is possible, which is everything that you're learning how to do here from a tactile phase. So while you're going out selling, as Bill said, all the features and all the benefits of all you can learn how to do, don't forget to show people why they need to be doing it and the importance of being involved with a group of people that know how to do it, and the importance of being involved with a group of people that are here to change the world. You know, a year ago, my partner and I were at a debrief with Matt and with Tim and with Fernie. And they had reached what I call the fork in the road of the future. The business was eminently successful by most people's standards. It was making money. It was excelling. People were having success. That's when most people celebrate. It's when creative people start to tear the hair out of their head because they finished everything on the list that they set out to do. And they weren't jumping up and down. You see, most people think when you finish everything on the list, it's time to do what? Retire at 22 or however old they are? So they... and it was a very frustrating meeting because they were either done, in which case, what do you do next? Or they reached the point where they really got to go do what they'd always set out to do, now that the foundation was built. And I see here now a new energy because now it gets fun. They know that they know how to teach everybody all the skills in order to go out and do all the things you're seeing here. They know that they've learned how to simplify it to the point that they can't make it any simpler, and anybody who chooses to can do it. Average people, and I use that not derogatorily, but meaning people that don't have a lot of specialized skills or knowledge when they walk in the door, they know that anybody that's willing to invest the time, they now have a systematic approach that they can teach anyone how to do it. That was what they set out to do. Now that that's out of the way, they can now go out and take this message that has maybe 600 people in this room to the point that it can become a community where you have events of 6,000, where it can go international and go around the world and be in other languages. And you all have the opportunity to be a part of that, an active part of that. Not only to benefit financially, which you will do, but to benefit in so many other ways. You also have the opportunity to quit. Many people will. You also have the opportunity to do the worst thing of all, which is to neither take advantage of it or quit, but to sit in the room and really never be a part of it and watch other people grab hold of it and go forward. So I would encourage you to either do the former or the latter, but not be in the middle, because the middle is one of those places that's permanent sucking. Okay, that is by far the worst place that you can ever be. Now I'm going to give you some really good news. This is the best news I got all year. I saw a TED Talk. I didn't quite believe it. I went out and validated it. How many people have heard that most horrible, horrible, horrible thing you ever hear, that it takes 10,000 hours to become like an expert at anything. Anybody heard that whole thing? Malcolm Gladwell, 10,000 hours to become an expert. And you know what? It's so true. It's so true. But here's the really good news. Do you know how long it takes to become really proficient at something? See, it takes 10,000 hours if you want to be Tim Irway. It takes 10,000 hours. If you want to be Michael Jordan in basketball, it takes 10,000 hours. You want to be Eric Worre in network marketing, it takes 10,000 hours. You want to be Arthur Ashe, it takes 10,000 hours. But what if you just want to be a really good tennis player? What if you want to get out on the golf course and shoot a 75? What if you want to be a really, really good internet marketer who makes a really, really good living, or online marketer, and not be Tim Irway? You know how long it takes to really get good skills at that, to play at a good level at something? 20 hours. Not 20 hours of prepping, not 20 hours of thinking about it, 20 hours of actually doing a skill, and you will become good enough at it to get good results and make money. If you take MySpace network marketing, give me any person who's afraid to get on the phone and contact and invite people, and if they spend 20 hours actually contacting and inviting, by the end of 20 hours, they will be really, really good at it. They will be comfortable talking to people, and they will go through it. So the next time you think somebody tells you they don't have time, 20 hours is 5 days, 1 week, 5 days, 4 hours. 20 hours to learn how to do the skill, and the rest of your life building an incredibly, fantastically successful community. Now, and sharing it with other people and investing the time in them. Now I'm going to tell you something that I wish I'd known when I got started, that I wish I'd learned in the beginning. This is from the other side of the success story. When you get started in home-based business, entrepreneurship, I don't care what space you're in, you're always going to end up at events like this. And the first one you go to, you know, everybody says, oh, I went and I sat in the front row and took notes at my first event. First event, we're all at the back of the room when we start. You're at the back of the room, generally near a door, because you're not really sure why you're there, and you want to be close to the exit. And somewhere in the first event, you see people talking on stage, it dawns on you that you have to get on that stage. And I don't mean you have to get on the stage like you're dying to do it. I mean, some people are. Some people say, oh my God, the stage, I was born for the stage. I'm gonna be a great speaker. Some people say, oh my God, the idea of speaking in front of people scares me to death. But what you realize is this is where success is. The people on the stage are having what you think you want. So you have to get on the stage. That's what you realize. Sooner or later, you move to the front row, and one day you get on the stage. That's all you can think about, is getting on the stage, because that's success. Also, when you start to work, if I could go back in time, or I could grab anybody who's there today, you have a bucket list. And on the bucket list are all these things you want, and they're cars, houses, trips, a lot of things. We all did it back then, and everybody's got it. And those are great things, and you should want them. They'll bring you satisfaction for about 5 minutes. Really. And here's the reality. You do want to get on the stage. What you realize when you finally get on it is you want to get on the stage and you want to get off of it as fast as you possibly can. And you want to get other people on it to replace you. Your job is to get on the stage, get off, and get other people on who never thought they'd get on, and teach them to do the same, and get more and more new stories and new people on the stage, because that's what we're here to do. And here's the kicker. The thing that you get the most out of, the thing that brings you the greatest happiness, the thing that you keep doing it for, and what keeps you going on and on and on and on, was never on your list in the beginning. You didn't even think of it. Nobody even told you it's why you did it. And that's joy. The number one thing that every person who reaches success keeps doing this over is not for the cars and all the other stuff. It's absolute, unmitigated joy. Every person who's on this stage, they work like crazy. They're traveling all the time. They just got off of planes. They got on planes. Jesse wasn't supposed to be here. My partner was. He got delayed in China. Jesse stepped in exhausted from whatever he's doing. Tim works all the time. They just came off workshops. I know Michelle and Bill have been traveling. Bill stepped up. Nobody's looking for one more gig and one more plane ticket for the heck of it. but it's just a joy to know that you go out and maybe something you say somewhere, maybe something you do somewhere makes a difference in someone's life. Maybe they hear something that makes them say, today's my day. Maybe they get a glimmer of where they're at and where they could be. Maybe they'll catch the bug and realize it's not about you anymore. It's not about if you think you're good enough, because you are, if you think you deserve it, because you do, if you think if you think you're up to the task or not, because you are. It's about all the people that need you to realize now is your time, because they can't have their time till you show up for them. That's what the community's about. You're not here to get better for you, because all the people who already know you are used to being you the way that you are right now. You're here for all the lives you will touch when you decide to step up and show up for them and help make this community all that it can be. Thank you very much. I love you all.
Wow. That is why we're here. That is why we do what we do.
All right. Hello, hello. Good to see you all here. Let's see who's joining us. If you wouldn't mind, please let me know if you have audio, if you have video, if you could see me, if you could hear me. I'm going to go ahead and look for my live here. And I am monitoring comments, so if you'd be so kind as to let me know if you are seeing me and hearing me, that would be great. And if you're here watching the replay, if you're here with me live, let me know as well. I'd like to see who's on. And also, where are you coming in from? What part of the world are you watching from? All right. See some comments coming in. Can't read them. Watching from Texas. Very cool. All right. So we are live. Seems like the audio and the video is working. Thanks for letting me know. I appreciate it. It is so good to be here. I am honored and privileged and humbled to be here to speak to you today. It has been a while since I've done a Facebook Live. And for those of you that don't know me, because I don't make an appearance too often, my name's Tim Irway. I am the CEO and co-founder of AttractionMarketing.com. You see my partner a lot. That's Fernie Ceballos. He's amazing. He does most of the lives here in this group, but it's always fun when I get to come in, get a little bit of FaceTime with all of you. Again, it's an honor. It's a privilege to be here. I've been in this industry since the 90s and got my start when I was still in school, had to get a permission slip in order to join my first company. So I've been doing this a long time. I've done it the old school way. And way back in 2002 is when I started doing this business in the online world. And I learned very, very quickly that what worked offline does not work online. So it doesn't translate effectively online. And I also learned that there are some pretty amazing technologies, mediums, and platforms, even back then, that allowed me to get exposure to a broad audience of people and quickly get results. Now, I learned the hard way that getting results is only half the battle, because there are some things that we can take away from traditional networking that are very crucial that can help us build online and do it more effectively and keep our team engaged and, get rid of that attrition that we so much hate. All right. So again, if you're watching this live, let me know. If you're watching this as a replay, also let me know, and let me know where you're coming in from. By the way, I can only see Facebook user unless you grant StreamYard permission. There should be an option for you to do that, or instructions for you to do that in the description of this post. If it's not there, if someone would be so kind as to look up the instructions and post them in a comment. If you go StreamYard, allow Facebook to see my comments, I think you'll find something there. So if you do that for me, I'd appreciate it. If it's not in the comments or in the description already, or you can just copy and paste and put it in the comments. That would be awesome. I love to see who's commenting. Unfortunately, I can't do that unless I'm on Facebook. The software only does it for who gives me permission. So once again, if you're just tuning in, welcome. Tim Rowe here. And I'm excited to be here. I'm going to jump right in. I'm going to share what I came to share with you guys today. First of all, if you're joining us, give me some love, give me some likes. Let me know if you can hear me, see me, and if everything's okay. Awesome. I like to see interaction and engagement. It makes this a lot more fun for me. All right, so I'm going to attempt to share my screen here, and hopefully this goes well. Sometimes it works out well, sometimes it does not. All right, so what you should see, hopefully you are seeing it, is a blurry image with a title slide. So what this is called, what this training is all about, is the Ultimate Attraction Marketing 7-Figure Blueprint. And behind this title, you will see a blurry image. That image is blurry intentionally. I want to keep the intrigue. I want to keep the mystery. And I want to really unwrap this system for you, each component for you, so you can get a clear understanding of how this blueprint, this strategy, and everything behind it can help you in 2023 and beyond absolutely crush it. Launch your brand, attract an audience, gain influence and trust, grow a list of qualified prospects, enroll business builders, and most importantly, how you can use this system to create more leverage through systems that ensure that you get team members that are actually duplicating. That's what we all love to have in our business. Now, I don't know who's joining us. If you're brand new to this industry, if you just got your start last week, or if you're a grizzled, salty veteran and you've been in this industry for 20 or 30 or more years, either way, this is going to benefit you. And the reason I say that is because no matter where you are on your journey, there are certain universal principles that are applicable no matter what. So if you're just getting started, you're going to appreciate this. If you're a seasoned pro and you're really wanting to learn how to level up your business using the latest tools, technology, and strategy to grow your business quickly, then you're going to really appreciate this. And if you're anywhere in between as well. And so in order to really give you an understanding and context for what we're going to cover here, I want to start out by sharing something that's really important. Let me share my screen again. And the thing I want to share with you that I think is really important before we jump into the 4 leverage systems that I'm going to share with you here, I want to talk about this concept that really helped to change the game for me. And it can change the game for you. In fact, this is how I've built all of my 7- and 8-figure businesses. And it absolutely applies to network marketing, as well as any other business that you want to really grow extremely quickly and with the least amount of pain and effort as possible. So let me go ahead and go to the slide. So what you'll see here is something that I call the yield and leverage matrix. Now, if you're liking this, if you're getting value, let me know. Value, comment down below. This is going to be really, really powerful for you. So the quadrant looks, as you can see, like this, okay? So right here, we have 4 divided squares. We have 4 quadrants here, okay? And on this side, the vertical axis, we have what is called the yield axis. And this is you can think of this as the desired results or payoff. And it goes from least down on the bottom to highest up at the top. And then on the horizontal plane, you have the leverage axis. And the leverage axis goes from the least amount of leverage to the left to the most amount of leverage on the right. And think of leverage as automation, think of it as time freedom. So you're getting results without you personally putting in the effort. So hopefully that makes sense. And if we just to really give you context on what this means and how powerful and how important this is, I want to assume that we'll give a scenario. So we'll assume that we set our goal on creating a business that yields you the most financial reward. I mean, I think that's probably what we're all here for. We got started in this industry because we want to create a business that gives us the most financial reward, yet also provides us with the most amount of leverage, the most amount of time freedom. Now, if you're anything like me, and probably 99% of those who are in this business, then that's your ultimate goal, is you want financial and time freedom, right? Is this making sense? So clearly you want to create a business growth strategy that gives you both time and financial freedom. And that is what we're doing. And that's what this yield and leverage quadrant or matrix can do for you. You got to have a strategy that gets you to your goal and does it in the fastest way possible. Now, here's what's important to understand about the yield leverage matrix quadrant, whatever you want to call it. We'll call it the yield leverage matrix as it relates to your business. In network marketing, everyone who starts out starts right here in this blue zone. And this is what we call the low yield, low leverage quadrant. And we name this aptly, I think, the startup zone for obvious reasons. And so for most people, they really struggle to work the plan, right? Especially in the beginning. You have to go through your warm market where you're making your list of names, you're calling people, you're scheduling presentations, you're presenting your business opportunity, you're overcoming objections, you're asking for the sale, right? And you're getting referrals and so on. And then once you've gone through your warm market, you move on to your cold market, right? And as we all know, this is where most people really struggle. And the process, as we all know, looks kind of like this. You typically have to, approach strangers. Then you got to strike up a conversation with those strangers and build up rapport and trust with them. And then you have to qualify them, right? Because you have to ask if they're open to an opportunity, right? And of course, if they're open and the answer is yes, then what do you have to do? You have to invite them to attend a presentation or a meeting or a home party or whatever it is. And then some of them will accept the invitation. And so in that case, you go ahead and schedule the presentation with them. That's another step. And as we know, not everybody that you schedule or who commits will actually show up to your presentation, your home party, your meeting, whatever it is. And so we've got to, remind them, confirm the appointment. And for those few that do show up, we then present your opportunity. Is any of this sounding familiar, by the way? And not all of them are going to be immediately ready to join because they're going to have questions, right? They're going to have objections that you'll have to overcome. Then for those who might initially say, yes, I'm interested, but I have to talk to his spouse. Well, we then have to follow up with them. And then finally, if we've done all of this really effectively and with enough people, a small percentage of those people will enroll. And then it's time to do what? It's time to help them duplicate this entire process, right? So let me know if this sounds familiar to you, whether you're doing it online, whether you're doing it offline, doesn't matter. I just want to know if this is resonating with you guys. I'm scrolling to the latest comments. All right. And they are at the top. All right. Sweet. Okay. Thank you. Appreciate it. So obviously we know that that sounds familiar. So where do you think we are here in this spot as we start to get results from all of these activities? Let's say we do this enough times, we get activities. We move up here, right? But it's only a small few because a lot of people inevitably get tired, frustrated, quit. But the small few who make it up here to the high yield, low leverage quadrant, we call this the hustle zone. Now, these are your top recruiters here. They get very, very good at the traditional building strategy. They are the beasts who hit the leaderboards. They're winning awards. They're getting those fast start bonuses. They're maximizing the front end of their compensation plans of your company, right? This and of itself is an incredible feat. It's awesome to see. And when I was down here struggling in the startup zone, like probably some of you are, watching people crush it up here in the hustle zone, they looked like absolute rock stars to me. And I thought they were. Here's what I learned later. I'm going to let you in on a little secret. So lean in. It wasn't really till many, many years later that I realized that these people here in this hustle zone actually had a problem. And if you've been here, maybe you can relate to this. So we already talked about the startup zone and, getting momentum. Now I'm speaking to those of you that are here in the hustle zone. And these are the people that are hitting some significant income milestones. They're working long days. They're constantly on the phone doing calls. They're doing follow-ups. They're doing Zoom meetings. They're doing presentations. They're helping their new team members get started and supporting their team, their downline, right? And outwardly, these people look like they embody success, right? And those who stay in this quadrant for too long, the truth is they're the most stressed out, burnout, and miserable people, okay? So at first, I'm sure you want to get up here. That's absolutely true. I'm not saying being in the hustle zone, you shouldn't be here. This is wherever, this process of moving through this quadrant organically should look like this. It should look like startup. I want to go as quickly as possible up to yield, right? And I want to get more results. What I don't want to do is stay in the hustle zone. And when you do that, it's pretty stressful. These are the ones sacrificing their family lives. They're burning the candle at both ends. They're grinding away day in and day out. And while they've learned the skills of prospecting and recruiting, which brought them up here in the first place, they can't really progress beyond this because they're not seeing the duplication that they want. And why is that, do you think? Why is it that people get stuck here? What's the cause of people getting stuck here in the hustle zone? Just curious. Comment what you think it is, okay? And I'm going to pause for a second. While you do, I want to see if everyone's interacting because, again, it makes it fun. All right. Let's see what we got. Yes, this will be on the group later. Fantastic. Okay, so I'll tell you what it is. The reason that they get stuck here is because they've learned the skills to actually recruit, bring people into their team, but they haven't learned the duplication skills. And the reason that they don't is because they don't have enough people down here that they've helped duplicate them. And why is that? What's the cause of that? Well, it's because the sacrifice to get up here is incredibly higher than most people are willing to do. And more often than not, this struggle that they have while they're up here by all outward appearances, having success, crossing the stage, rank advancing, top producers, what's happening is it's a secret struggle because they have to keep the illusion going that they're happy, they're positive, and fired up about their business. They need their downline to see them as successful leaders so that their team stays inspired to want to build at the same level of intensity as them. So does this make sense? Do you know of people who are at this level in the hustle zone who maybe seem like they're incredibly successful, or maybe it's you and you're getting results, you're successfully bringing people into your business, but you're feeling like you hit a glass ceiling? If that's you, type in hustle zone. By the way, if you're startup zone, I want to know, type in startup zone. If you're just getting started, or maybe you've been in this business for a while, but you're not consistently getting results and you're stuck in the startup zone, let me know, startup zone. If you're in the hustle zone, you're getting results, but you're working long hours, sometimes sacrificing your family life or your health, or just really spending a lot of time, 10+ hour days in this. Let me know which zone you think you're in. Self-identifying and awareness is half the battle here, okay? And by the way, there's a growth plan for each of you, and I'll talk about what that looks like here in just a moment. So that's the high yield, low leverage quadrant, otherwise known as the hustle zone. Then in the traditional model, a few of the people here in this hustle zone make the transition over here. And this is a very small few people who actually persevere, who continue grinding it out long enough, who manage to maintain their sanity long enough to make it here into the freedom zone, who managed to, not get their company shut down or have leaders leave and take their team with them, or get frustrated and leave to another company and start over, right? Some of these people get here in the freedom zone, and they eventually find the few rock stars. The way that they got here is they find a few rock stars who are willing to make the same sacrifice and who start to achieve results and get into the hustle zone, right? And so they eventually move from here to here in the hustle zone, which helps them to move into the freedom zone. And hopefully that makes sense. Now, this freedom zone, and we'll talk about how you know if you're in it or not. This freedom zone is what I would call the 0.01% club. Okay, this is the high 6 and 7 figure earners who manage to achieve results using traditional methods. This is where you want to be if your goal is to create wealth, if your goal is to create walk away residual income. That sounds familiar, I'm sure. This is where you want to be if you want to create time freedom. However, it's only a small percentage of people who start out here in network marketing who ever make it across the hustle zone and into the freedom zone. Now, I'm going to share with you how these leverage systems that I'm going to reveal here can help you shortcut this whole process and help you and your team go from here in the startup zone up through the hustle zone and cross over to the freedom zone much faster and have a lot higher of a success rate than 0.1% or whatever it is of those using the traditional method. Okay. Now, before we jump into that, we have to address this far right bottom quadrant. And this is the low yield, low leverage quadrant. This is what we call the boondoggle zone. So this is actually a risk to those that are on this left-hand side anytime. If you're in the startup zone or the hustle zone, you can end up in the boondoggle zone. And here's what commonly happens, okay? So people get stuck here in the startup zone. They're not getting the kind of results they want. They're feeling frustrated. They're feeling stuck. So they go looking for solutions. And there's no shortage of solutions out there, right? Whether it's buying opportunity leads, purchasing sales funnel software, buying courses, training programs, hiring coaches, going to events or whatever, right? Or doing things like buying likes on social media. You can do that, or you used to be able to do that. You could send spam email, there's all kinds of stuff. You could join traffic exchanges. So buying website clicks. All of these are things that are boondoggle zone type of activities. And here's what inevitably happens. And I know this because, again, I've heard story after story from our students before they found us. They spend money on one or more of these solutions, right? And sometimes it's a lot of money. And the results don't change at all. They're no better off for it, which lands them right here in the boondoggle zone. This is basically treading treading water. It's not getting traction, right? And those in the hustle zone are not impervious either to getting sucked into the boondoggle zone. Again, these are the hustlers. They're using brute force. Oops, I keep doing that. Using brute force to really grow their business. And they have an altogether different set of problems, right? They're trying to solve the problem of getting their time back, right, before they burn out. And we all know there's 24 hours in a day. And at least 1/3 of that time should be dedicated to sleep, right? And then we've got family, we've got health, we've got spirituality, we've got self-care, we've got all these other things. So something has to give. So what happens with people here a lot of times is these people struggle with, as we talked about, challenges. And so they need a solution. And out of desperation, what happens is they realize that the solution is probably systems, which is true, to help them reduce time that they're spending on manual, repetitive activities related to prospecting and closing and whatnot, right? So what do they do? They go looking for solutions. And again, we've heard horror stories from those of our students who've spent a small fortune building out things like funnel software, replicated websites, training libraries, webinar systems, right? And as we know, all the leverage in the world is worthless without the results. Again, I messed up when I said this. This is high leverage, low results. So that's the reason we call it the boondoggle zone. So the leverage, if you have a sales funnel, perfect sales funnel, replicated website, training library, if you don't have people using them and you're not getting results or enrollments, then it doesn't matter. It's all for naught. So what can happen is you move from here to here because you're spending time and or money on things that don't get you the result you want. So I want you to pay close attention. This is super important, okay? So your goal as a professional attraction marketing leader is to help your team go from the startup zone up to the hustle zone and over to the freedom zone as quickly as possible. This is achieved by putting systems in place that provide constant lead flow, that increase your enrollments, and maximize your team's duplication so you can create exponential growth in your business and at the same time create more leverage so you can have both of the things that we started this business for. That's time and financial freedom. And you can save yourself a bunch of money and do it faster without the burnout, without the brain damage, and all of that. And the way we do that is we focus first, this is important, on the highest yield activities, okay? What are the highest yield activities? Well, with attraction marketing, it's one thing. With traditional, the old school method, it's another thing. But what we want to do is if we're using attraction marketing activities, we want to use the activities that create quick wins for you and your team and move you here into the hustle zone quickly. And then you're going to focus on, as soon as you get traction, getting things working, don't solve the problem that's not there. If you're not getting results, you don't want to try to automate and do stuff to get to the freedom zone because that's how you end up at the boondoggle zone. What you want to do is wait until you have a bottleneck of your time where you're getting so many people booking on your calendar that you can't handle it yourself. And then you could start putting systems in place. Hopefully that makes sense, because if you don't do this in the right order, then that's how you get sucked into the boondoggle zone. That's how you get burnout here and quit. That's how you get burnout here and quit, and you don't ever make it to the freedom zone. Now, I know this was a lot of information. I know it was done in a short time. I want to know if this makes sense to you, if you're getting this, and if you are ready to figure out how to take this journey quickly from, if you're here in the startup zone, up to the hustle zone. If you're in the hustle zone, how to start moving over to the freedom zone and avoid the boondoggle zone trap. Let me know, and we'll move on into the rest of the training. All right. Awesome. So have you heard it laid out in this way before? And again, this is the lens. I'm going to take this off the screen for a second. This is the lens that I use in my businesses. Okay, this is the lens that I use right now when I'm making decisions for attractionmarketing.com on the company level. Okay, this is the filter. When I want to grow quickly, when I want to get results, when I want to create more results and leverage, I'm looking at opportunities, not just to end up in this big right-hand corner. I want to end up in the upper right-hand corner. So if, again, this is I'm giving you the general overview of what this looks like, but we could grid this whole thing out and put a dot. So let's just say, for example, I have an idea for a Facebook Live, right? Now, a Facebook Live like this might get us a lot of results. Can I reach a lot of people? Yes. Is it leveraged? Yes. It's high on the leverage zone because I'm creating a video, I'm creating an asset. It's going to get people watching this for indefinitely. So it's an asset. And if it gets the result that I want, and that result is getting people saying, yes, I'm interested in getting your help, then, and I keep this up, then it's high yield and high leverage, right? And so this is an asset that gets me into the freedom zone. Now, if I grid this out, it might be up in the upper right-hand quadrant, depending on how good it works, right? Up in the upper right-hand quadrant of the right-hand quadrant. It might be up in this little corner here if I were to put a dot on a grid, right? So hopefully you're seeing this is a multi-dimensional concept that I'm only going into the surface level with you right now. The surface level is there's 4 quadrants. You want to be up here in the freedom zone. I think everyone gets that. But there's nuances to this that I go into with some of our students that are ready for it. And so I just want you to understand the overall general viewpoint of how this works, because this is so critical and it's been a game changer for me and my business over the years. So when we're about to head into our meeting tomorrow for our annual planning meeting, it's 2 days long. And we are going to start creating our strategy for 2023. Guess what we're going to be using? You guessed it, we're using this. So when we come up with all of the ideas and things that we as a team want to do, we're going to run it through this same filter here to decide which ones are most important that we're going to prioritize as company initiatives, or what we call rocks. Now, as a network marketer, these principles are universal. Business is business. So if you want to get faster results and you want to do it in a leveraged way, get good results in a leveraged way, then this is a filter I recommend that you use. Okay, so I've belabored that point, I think. Let's go ahead and move on. I'm going to share my screen once again. And let's go into the very first system we're going to talk about. This is what we call the leveraged audience growth systems, okay? Now, the systems, this is one of them that you're seeing a graphic of. This is how you can reach more people and grow your audience on multiple platforms without spending a ton of additional time, okay? So that's the deal that we do with our systems. Now, what we teach our beginner students, and if you're in the startup zone, this is you, what we teach our beginner students is to pick one platform, start with that one platform, get really good at using attraction marketing, organic strategies or free strategies. And that's the attract, influence, and enroll methodology. I'm sure you've heard of it. It's very effective. You've probably had results. If you're watching this, maybe you've been doing this for a while. And that's, doing the things like intrigue posts, curiosity posts, value posts, and direct call to action posts and things like that on one single platform. And when you do that, you get engagements, you get people liking, you get people sharing your content, you get people messaging you, right? That's the idea. So you're creating this engagement. And the goal is to create, and again, if we go back to this yield leverage quadrant right here, the goal in the beginning phase is to start using these strategies. No, not like a bunch of technology. You're picking one platform, you're doing this stuff, and you're just getting the initial engagement. You're starting to break inertia and get some momentum and traction. That's the goal. And again, that's what we teach our beginner students. So hopefully that makes sense. Really, really important stuff. And when we do it the right way, when we are able to get some results, some initial results, let me go back, using this leveraged audience growth system, it's not leveraged at first, right? It's manual, okay? So what we do though, is when we start getting results, we want to start backfilling. We want to start automating the things that are taking up a bunch of our time, okay? Now, let me ask you this. Let's say you're starting to get results in a manual way, or you're using one platform. We'll say Facebook. We're on Facebook now. Could be YouTube, could be TikTok, could be Instagram, could be anything, LinkedIn, doesn't matter. But let's say you're really focused on one platform. What do you think you need to do to get more results? Just curious. What's the obvious kind of thing you might be thinking to yourself that, oh, well, if I want to get double my results, I need to, probably not double the content, right? Probably go onto another platform. But that brings up a big challenge for us, right? So let's say we get Facebook down, we're doing content once a week, we're doing long form content, we're cutting that up into short, like we're just doing the stuff that we do, right? So obviously we need to go on to a second platform, right? A lot of us might go, well, I need to go on Instagram now, right? What's the problem? What's the challenge with that? The challenge with that is there's 24 hours in a day, 1/3 of that you got to spend sleeping, and you still probably have a family life. You probably have to take care of yourself, your health, your well-being. And so doubling the amount of time that you spend on a second platform just doesn't make sense. So again, we want to be very cognizant of the fact that you don't cross this bridge until you're getting results and you need to backfill and leverage yourself, okay? So when you're ready to go on that second platform, what you want to do is you want to have a way to take a piece of content, okay, and take that one piece of content, quickly, easily convert that content into written form so that you can create written content, audio form so you can create something like a podcast or use it for audio or as a companion to your written content, short videos that you can use on TikTok, Instagram, whatever. Long form video that's got some important stuff, graphics and whatnot on it for YouTube. Like all of these things you want to do, and in order to get traction on different platforms, right? And to do that manually doesn't make sense, right? Because there's 24 hours in a day, 1/3 of it spent sleeping. We just don't have time to do that. So we have systems that allow us to backfill our time, to leverage our time, and actually take one piece of content. Let's say you're doing one piece of content per week. Say it's a video, and take that content, put it, multi-purpose it so it's ready for all the mediums and modalities: audio, video, written, and multiple platforms. So the dimensions are different for TikTok, for example, or for Instagram rather. And so you've got to have all these things in different types of setups. And how do you do that? You got to have a system. Okay. And we call that repurposing. So that's step 2. So you're creating content. Step 2 is repurposing. And then you want to automate. And automation is taking that content and making sure that it gets on to these various social media platforms. Is this making sense? If the leveraged audience growth conceptually makes sense to you, let me know. Drop a 1 inside the comments here so that I can see that you guys are understanding the concept behind this, because this is really, really important. And I also want you to understand something else. I'm going to repeat myself. I'm at the risk of sounding repetitive and redundant. I'm going to say it again. Don't solve the problem that you don't have yet. Make sure that you're so busy with people reaching out to you that you're ready to move on to start to automate and go on to different platforms, please. Okay, good. Lots of 1s I'm seeing. That's awesome. So I just want you to really contrast this with the old school way. The old school way is maybe create content, whether that's video. And there's only, a couple different things you could do to create content, right? The 2 things that you can do: talking, typing. That's it. So whether that content's talking or it's typing, you want to use that content on multiple modalities, multiple platforms. And how do you do that? Well, you got to have a system to do that. A lot of people are like, well, I can write and not be on video. Yes, absolutely. There are ways to do that, but you have to have a system. So I'm going to move on. Hopefully you guys are getting this. I think 1 makes sense. You guys all typed 1. I'm going to share number 2. Okay. So the number 2 system I'm going to talk about, again, if you are right here in the startup zone, you don't need this yet. You're going to start seeing how these are like pieces of a puzzle that we layer in as you need them. And this is the reason we say, do these things in the right order. Okay. Really, really important. In the startup zone, your enrollment system, if you're here and you're not getting results yet, might just be a messenger conversation and then jumping on a Zoom call. There's no automation. It's getting you results, but you're not moving over here to try to automate yet. And that's okay. We don't want to solve the problem that's not there. However, if you're finding yourself up here, let's say you're getting people scheduling themselves with you, you're having too many conversations in Messenger, you're trying to coordinate schedules, set up calls, and you just need an assistant. If you're getting to the point where you feel like you need an assistant, that's what this basically does for you. Okay. So CPS enrollment, what does it stand for? CPS enrollment stands for capture, present, and schedule. Now this is powerful. Okay. So let's assume you're doing this effectively. On your first platform, you're getting results. Your second platform, you're expanding there, you're repurposing your content, you're automating that. Maybe you're spending a couple hours a week managing this system right here, this leveraged audience growth system, maybe a few hours, whatever it is. And you're getting conversations with people, and you're starting to automate, and you've got a schedule link, right, that you're using, you're getting people on their calendar. Well, what do you need to do if you're talking to people that aren't qualified they're just not qualified? Well, you want to put something in place that filters, sifts, sorts, and qualifies people before they schedule on your calendar. Now, it's important, again, at the risk of sounding repetitive, you don't solve this problem until you've got too many people scheduling on your calendar. I'm going to say it again. You don't want to solve this problem until you have too many people scheduling your calendar. First thing you want to do is start getting conversations, get traction. Second thing you want to do is get conversations. Okay. Get in conversations. Now, When you're getting on conversations and you're not closing most of the people you're talking to, this is when you want to put this system in place, because our goal with this system is to have an automated way to convert your audience into highly qualified prospects that will book themselves on your calendar or your team's calendars. I want to say that again, book themselves on your calendar and your team's calendars. Again, we're talking about you and your team going from startup to hustle to freedom. Okay. So if it's just you in the beginning, you're using this just for you. Later, depending on where you are here, if you're let's say you're moving from the hustle zone to the freedom zone, you might be getting too many calls on your people booking on your calendar. So you want to automate scheduling on your leaders' calendars. Is that making sense? Hopefully that makes sense. So let's talk about each of these components. Capture. Now, I want you to think about this. We're going to compare this to what we all know, traditional network marketing. In traditional network marketing, what do? We approach people, have a conversation, strike up a dialogue, build rapport. We see if they're interested and qualify them. We do that kind of stuff, right? And by the way, if you're getting value from this again, and if you're understanding this, if you're getting value, go ahead and give me some love, likes, give me some hearts. I'd love to see those hearts and let me know. And we'll keep going. Awesome. Okay. So when you're in traditional network marketing, it could be online network marketing as well, you're going to meet a lot of people. Now, most of the people you meet, even if they're interested, let's say you have that, we go back to that scenario, you meet someone in a line at Starbucks or something like that. You have a conversation with them, you hit it off, you got rapport. You say, hey, I'm just curious, you're a sharp person. You seem like somebody who keeps their options open for business opportunities. Is that true? You know, that kind of cheesy, pickup line. And if they say yes and they're intrigued, it's like, great, well, let me get your contact information. And so you go through that. Now, what happens inevitably when that person, you exchange contact information, maybe you call them to set up a meeting. At some point, what happens to most people? What happens? Like maybe they're intrigued, they're interested, or whatever, right? What is it that happens to most of those people? Most of those people talk to a negative spouse, a friend, they do some research on the internet or whatever, and they're like, oh man, it's one of those pyramid deals, right? So you never hear from them again. This first component fixes that. So if you're using attraction marketing, all you're doing at this point is capturing information. Hey, if you're interested and keep your options open, let me know. I'd like to share some powerful information with you. Now, even if they look you up, even if they decide, you know what, they talk to the spouse, even if they think, oh, this is probably a pyramid deal, you have opportunity after opportunity to follow up with them indefinitely. How powerful is that? You can overcome the problems or the fear, the uncertainty, the doubt, the negative spouses, and all of that with automatic messages that go out to your prospects. That's the power of this capture, okay? Is this making sense? If you're loving this, give me a thumbs up in the comments, let me know, okay? I want to talk about the second thing. So again, the problem we're solving is if you are in the startup zone, moving into the hustle zone, you're having conversations with a lot of people, okay? You're talking to them, but they're just not qualified or they're not joining you or whatever. So that's the problem we're solving here, and that's how we're going to solve it. We solved the problem of everyone you come in contact with, you follow up with email. Now we're solving the problem of getting people to self-qualify and say, yes, I'm absolutely interested. And that's the presentation stage, okay? The presentation stage is where we have frameworks, scripts, examples for how to do this. And this is super powerful, again, when you're ready for it. And imagine this. I want you to think about this. Imagine waking up in the morning, okay? This is powerful. Waking up in the morning and seeing that you have 3 appointments with people who already know who you are. They already understand everything that you're about, your team's about. They're sold on working with you. They're excited about working with you. They're educated on your business model. They're educated on your company. and they're scheduling themselves on your calendar, and you wake up to those people scheduling, how much more qualified are they than somebody you're going to meet in line at Starbucks? Boom. Do you see how powerful this is? This is, again, game changing. And you can leverage this presentation, this second thing right here, and use it for your team as well. So their calendars are getting filled up when you're ready. Powerful stuff. If this makes sense, if you could see how this is more effective than approaching a bunch of people online or offline with Messenger, whatever, posting on your social network randomly, sharing products and weight loss, like all that stuff. If you're using this leverage audience growth system, now you're getting people going through, getting educated, scheduling themselves on your calendar. If you like this, type 2 in the comments. Type 2 in the comments. And we're going to move on to the third game-changing system that when you're ready for it, when I see enough 2s, when you're ready for it, we're going to be putting in place. Okay? Great. I see the 2s coming in. Awesome. Awesome. Very cool. All right. Very cool. So let's talk about self-liquidating lead generation. Okay. Now, self-liquidating lead generation and having this system in place, this is where we get into really how to scale your leads, scale your prospects, scale your signups with self-liquidating advertising. This is how every single student who has started with us and gone through, not, again, when you're ready for it, but gone through growing organically, your organic ground game, getting results on one platform, moving to multiple platforms, then getting enrollment conversations, then backfilling that. This is how you grow to 6 figures, multiple 6 figures, and 7 figures. We have 7-figure students today who are using this system they built 5 years ago. They're using the same system today, and their teams are using this system as well. It's pretty awesome. And a lot of them are teaching this system, but not like we are. Like we're staying on the cutting edge. We're always testing this stuff. Now, when I talk about paid advertising, most people go, whoa. You're talking about paying money, man. Are you crazy? Look, advertising should never be an expense. It should never be a cost. It should always be an investment. And what do you expect with an investment? What do you get with an investment that you don't get with a cost? A return, right? That's the idea of an investment. You get a ROI, a return on investment. That's what this is about. Now, very good. Thank you. Awesome. I'm seeing comments coming in. So yeah, a return. That's the goal with any advertising we do. We want to return on our time, or we want to return on our investment. So let me ask you this. For those of you that are freaked out by paid advertising, and by the way, if you don't do this effectively, and if you're not following what works now today, you can quickly go broke, okay? But when you do it the way that we teach, your chances and risk of that are much, much lower if you're following the effective strategy that we teach. So I want you to really, really understand that this is only a risk if you're careless and not following a system, a proven process, okay? So when we talk about setting up self-liquidating lead generation, when you're ready for it, it's really 4 steps. You're creating an ad, you're selecting your audience, and you're launching an ad and basically getting leads, and that's it. Now, here's the beauty of paid advertising, okay? For those of you that have been in this business for a while and done this the traditional way, you're actively going out and finding random people, okay? Random people in line, your server, people, if you're prospecting at the mall or whatever, you're approaching random people, okay? I want you to understand how this is different. With this, you can do a dog whistle that only your perfect prospects hear, okay? Now, when I say create ad, it's really simple. We have frameworks. We have templates for how to create these in a powerful way. We have many students right now who are doing advertising and generating 6 figures using these frameworks, okay? Very simple. You can do it on video. You can do it in written text. Doesn't matter as long as you're following a framework. This is the powerful part. Number 2, select audience. Now, selecting audience is where you can hone in on your perfect people, not random people one-on-one that you're approaching willy-nilly on the street, but people who are, yes, I'm interested in a business opportunity. Yes, I already understand what network marketing is. Yes, I'm already in groups that are relevant or similar. I have interests that align with yours. You can target those people online on different platforms. How powerful is that? So you're not wasting your time. First of all, where does this fit on the yield leverage quadrant? If I'm setting up an ad that gets me people saying, yes, I'm interested, investing money and buying stuff from you, whatever that might be, and you're doing this with one ad and you invest money, is it high yield? Is it getting you results? Yes. Is it high leverage? Absolutely. Right? So that's where it is on the quadrant when you do it right. Okay. And again, we have a process. I'm not going to go deep here because there is a strategy to creating self-liquidating lead generation systems that are profitable. Okay. And we're running long already. So I want to move on to the last component. Before I do, if this makes sense conceptually, if you're understanding this and how this, when you're ready for it, will be valuable for you. Maybe you're ready for it now. Maybe you will be in the next few months. Maybe you're working with us now currently and working towards using this. If you can see how this is valuable to you or might be valuable to you in the future, type 3 in the comments. Let me know. And we're going to tie all this together because you're going to see how having this in place actually helps grow your audience even more, and then helps you get more people going through your CPS enrollment system. All of these things work together to rapidly and exponentially grow your business. This is how we have people starting with us in year 1, making 6 figures in year 2 and 7 figures in year 3. That is not an exaggeration. That is a fact. Pretty powerful. All right. Hopefully that's making sense. I see lots of 3s. Let's move on to number 4. Now, again, when you're ready for it, those of you that are in the startup zone, maybe you're not here yet, but you get to look into a crystal ball and see exactly where this fits. So what is this? This 4 systems, what we call leadership and duplication systems, is all about creating training and duplication systems for getting new members going, for finding and developing leaders within your organization who are ready to ramp up, who are ready to follow you using attraction marketing from the startup zone into the hustle zone, which is the first step. So that's what we're getting them into. And then when they're ready, into the freedom zone. So that's what we're working on here. And how do we do that? Well, what most people, let me ask you this. For those of you that are already in the hustle zone, I saw some, I think, comments for those of you that are in the hustle zone. When you're doing all this stuff that you need to do to build your business and get enrollments, how many of you sometimes feel a little overwhelmed with managing team members, helping them get onboarded, making sure they're supported, doing 3-way calls or presentations for their contacts, picking them up when they're feeling down, talking them off ledges, doing all this stuff that you have to do to manage your organization and get new people started. How many of you have struggled with that? If you've struggled, say, type onboard if you've struggled with that in the past. If you've ever had that happen where you're just like, holy cow, I've got to get my own results, but also help my team members, right? Get results, especially if you're really up in the hustle zone, getting those results. Now, onboard. All right, we got one person at least. Now, how many of you, great, here comes some. So a couple people on board. Okay, so how many of you can see potentially in the future how you could be a victim of your own success when you have your leveraged audience growth system, you're starting to create content, repurposing that content, automating that content, you're starting to get people saying, hey, I want more information, commenting on your post. Then you're running them through your enrollment system. You're starting to get enrollments because you're converting 80% or more people that schedule themselves on your calendar, which you can do with the CPS enrollment system. Then you plug in paid ads. You and your team are absolutely crushing it, but your team's growing really fast. Your leaders even need help. So how many of you can see that might become a problem in the future? Type onboard if that's the case. Awesome. Lots of people on board. Awesome. Okay. That's where this powerful system comes in. So here's what most people have to do, right? And this might sound familiar to you. Somebody joins your team. You get on the phone with them, you help them make their list. And if this is the old school method, you help them make their first phone calls. When they make those phone calls, you help them do the invites and all that stuff. Then you're doing the meeting or presentation online or whatever it looks like. Maybe your onboarding system is social media only and you're helping them post, whatever the case may be. Now, with this system, you can have an automated way where people actually go through a process that walks them through getting onboarded. Okay. Now, this is powerful by itself to have training to help your people get onboarded. It's important and helpful. But the most powerful part of this system is the first thing that we're going to create when you're ready for it, when you're a leader, when you've got a team, and even, when you're in the hustle zone there and you're getting some results, and maybe even right before you're in the hustle zone, is we're going to create your sticky audience nurturing system. Okay, your sticky audience nurturing system is a specific and unique way to set up a Facebook group. And it's powerful. It's a fancy way of saying a Facebook group, but it's a powerful way to set up a Facebook group, because you're going to have one place, I want you to think about this, where people come in who are interested in your business, whether they're on your team already or they're prospects for your team, and they are coming through and they're seeing people win. Okay, they're seeing your team members win in business, rank advance, asking questions, getting supported. They're seeing people celebrating small wins and big wins. And they're seeing this real time, live. Okay. Now, they're excited. They decide to join your team because of all the action in the community. And they go through someone's enrollment system, their CPS enrollment system, have a conversation, join. Now, we have to have a way to get them started. So what we can do is point them to your onboarding system, and your onboarding system can take them through the process for getting them started, duplicating your results, and ecquickly get them from here up to here. That's the goal. Now, in the same system, in the same ecosystem, the sticky audience nurturing system, they're also going to be supported by you and your team, not just you, but your team. And this is powerful. Here's a universal truth that I think is important and valuable for you. Every single person, every human being wants to be a part of something bigger than themselves. Would you agree with that? Like, we all join clubs, churches, communities, because we want to be a part of something bigger than us. Okay. So a lot of people get started in this business because they want time and financial freedom. They stay because of the relationships, the community, the support, and being on a journey along with other people that are just like them. You guys get that, how powerful this is? If your systems that we talked about before are the ways to get results, this system, the fourth system, is the glue that keeps them engaged. It keeps them nurtured. It gets them supported, gets their questions answered, and it leverages your time because it's not just you. Everyone in the community who's building, they have a vested interest in supporting your members you bring in and each other's members and everyone. It's a cohesive and collaborative strategy where everyone rises together. So when you build the community the right way, you're actually creating a culture. And it's really important. We teach culture is king, okay? And we teach you how to create this Facebook group in such a way where when people come in, they see the culture and they want to be a part of it. They want to be a part of what you're doing, what you and your team are doing. So they want to be a part of that culture, and they're way more likely, seeing all the support, seeing all the results that people are having to join. Would you agree with that? And now they're getting onboarded. As soon as they do join, they're getting nurtured and helped. And you can do something else that's really powerful. So you see, number one, onboarding. We talked about that. Nurturing. We talked about how that works for your prospective people and the people who've joined your team. And now we can talk about promotion cycles. Now, everyone in your community who is in your team already and everyone who's not is going to be a part of your promo cycles. And these promo cycles that we do are powerful because they create mass enrollments where many people join you at once. Super, super powerful. And then the last thing, which I think is really important, is throughout the journey, wherever they are on this yield leverage quadrant, wherever they are in their business, they constantly are supported with number 4. And all of these are systems that you can put in place. Now, if you could see how this can be game changing for you when you're up here in the hustle zone, struggling, and you want to start creating leverage and help other people get up here and start getting results, and you and your team can start moving into the freedom zone. If you could see how that could be valuable to you, I want you to drop a 4 in the comments, okay? Now I want to kind of bring everything together so you could see exactly how this all fits, okay? Lots of 4s coming in, loving it. Okay, here it is. This is the blueprint. This is the way to crush it in 2023 and beyond, okay? We start out here in the first phase, leveraged audience growth systems. We do it on what? One platform to start with, right? Then when we're ready, when we're hitting the place where we're getting results in our business, we're getting conversations, we're getting people wanting more information, and we start scheduling them on our, on Zoom calls and stuff like that. Then we want to move to phase 2. Phase 2 is the CPS enrollment system, where we can start making sure that the conversations you're having are more qualified and valuable for your time, right? That's what this is going to do for you and then your team. And then when you're ready for it, you want to move into self-liquidating lead scaling systems so you can get prospects for free. So it also adds more people to your organic systems, because your paid ads, your self-liquidating lead scaling systems also grow your organic reach, and vice versa. Your organic reach gives your result boost to your paid results. And both of these bring people through your CPS enrollment system. You see how powerful that is? And then when you get to the point on the yield leverage quadrant where you're like, holy cow, I've got a few leaders now, that's when you deploy the last of these, the leadership and duplication systems, right? Might start with your community first, but you put your onboarding systems in place, you put your support systems in place, and then you start doing promo cycles. So where do you end up when you have all this in place, dialed in? We have Beck Sadek, who's been in who went through our mentorship program. She's the example I like to use. When we met her, she was in the hustle zone. She was working, I don't remember how long, but she was grinding away up here in the hustle zone. She was already getting results, but wanted to be over here in the freedom zone. She went from working 40-hour weeks to less than 10 hours a week and making way more money. I don't even know what she's up to. She might be a 7-figure earner now. So how did she do it? This universal journey that works no matter what. Now, if you're watching this, if you're getting value, if you're loving this, and you want to get our help with putting these systems in place, no matter where you are in your journey, whether you're just getting started, you're stuck in the startup zone, or you're up here in the hustle zone, maybe grinding away, really starting to get some results, but not sure how to leverage your time and help other people start getting results, and you want to start moving to the freedom zone. Or if you're in the boondoggle zone and you're stuck, like a lot of people who come to us who maybe join other programs or buy stuff, and they're just spinning their wheels, not getting anywhere fast. And if you're down here, if you're in any of these places in your business, we want to help you. And if that sounds good and you'd like to get our help, there's no obligation at all, but it does make sense to have a conversation with somebody on our team. And that person you're going to have a conversation with is one of our specialists. Now, if you want to have a conversation with one of our specialists, they can't sell you anything at all. All they're there to do is see if we can help you with this blueprint. And if so, then we'll move on to some options, but they can't do anything except have a conversation with you to see if we can help you. I want you to type specialist, actually no, strategy. Type strategy in the comments below if you'd like one of our specialists to reach out to you and set up a time to speak with you about how to do all of the stuff that we talked about, how to take, start putting your leverage audience growth systems in there. If you're at the beginner phase, if you're getting some results, but your conversations aren't fruitful, you're not getting conversions like you want, how to put your CPS enrollment system in place. Maybe you're starting to have conversations, you're getting results, but you want to help your team members, right? If that's you, I want you to type strategy in there. If you're getting self-liquidating if you're ready to start getting self-liquidating leads and really scale your business up and grow to multiple 6 and 7 figures, if that's where you're at, that's great. If you're a leader and you're somebody who's already getting results and you want to have a system for your team to be able to plug into so that they can get results as well, I want you to type strategy in the comments. Awesome, awesome, awesome. All right. Either way, regardless, if you decide to have a conversation, remember, this is a conversation only. There's not going to be any kind of weird sales tactics or anything like that. It's about, I think, a 15-minute conversation to answer any questions, clarify stuff for you. Then please type strategy in the comments below. Regardless, though, I want to know if you got value from this. If you did, then let me know value in the comments below. Give me a thumbs up, give me a like. And also, if you know of anyone that can benefit from this, please invite them to this community if they're not already here, or tag their names if they already are, so that they can also watch this presentation. So that's it for tonight. I really appreciate you being here. Again, it's always an honor, a privilege to be here to speak to you guys and get some FaceTime with you. And I want to thank you for your time. I want to thank you for your attention. And as always, I want to thank you for your leadership. Good night.
What's up, everybody? Welcome to Traction Marketing Community. This is Fernie Ceballos. How is everybody doing? Let me see if we are live. All right, just waiting for people to roll in. All right, usually it's a few seconds. There we go. There we go. All right, there we go. Well, welcome. Again, my name is Fernie Ceballos, co-founder of AttractionMarketing.com. I've been teaching network marketers how to grow their business online digitally in an authentic way that's actually fun, getting away from the old school methods for the past, I guess it's 15 years now that I've been doing this. And my business partner, Tim Irway, who's my mentor, has been doing it even longer. He's been building network marketing businesses online passively since 2001, believe it or not. And so Attraction Marketing has been around for that long, a long, long time. In fact, you will find that the majority of network marketers who are building online, who have these omnipresent, presences on social media and seem to be everywhere on different social media platforms, are either our students of our students, or the students of our students, and so on and so forth. So, hello, Shayla. All right, or Sheila, let me see. Sheila, there you go. Vicky, TJ, what's up? Let me know where you're logging on from. Let me know what state, what country, and we're about to jump into a very important topic. Now, I'm going to be talking about how to prime your prospects to effortlessly close to eliminate rejection. This is, drop me number one if you hate rejection. Drop me number one if you have loathed or feared or just cringed at the idea of doing another outreach or message to somebody or a text message or striking a conversation because of the fear and frustration around rejection. Some of us are afraid of rejection. Some of us are just frustrated that we're getting rejected. It's kind of like, it's not like we're afraid of it. It's just like, I want to get to the yeses. I want to actually do something that actually freaking works, as opposed to getting no, because no's don't make any money. And I disagree though with the go for no strategy. If you go for no, then that's all you're going to get. It's not about overcoming the fear of rejection. It's about learning the skills so that you don't get rejected. Learning the skills so that that person is like, holy cow, this is awesome. I'm interested. Let's go. And so again, go for no's, bullshit, in my opinion. Now, what do you do instead? So when it comes to priming your prospects, there's, obviously network marketing, we are taught, or in traditional network marketing, we're taught like everyone is your prospect, right? And our philosophy here at Attraction Marketing is that everyone is not your prospect. In traditional network marketing, you're taught to basically operate like with a hidden agenda. Like you strike up conversations seeming like you're being friendly, but you're really just trying to get to the next step of the sales process and get them to a meeting or something like that. And at Attraction Marketing, we teach you how to attract your ideal perfect prospects, the prospect that is already primed and predispositioned to be interested in what you have. Or even if they're like not interested, they're interested because maybe they just already found something else that solves that problem that your thing solves and they want to try that thing first. So it's like, okay, we'll go try that thing first. It's not a like, hell no, get away from me. No, I'm not interested. And then they kind of look at you all weird. So attraction marketing is about attracting the perfect prospects so that 80 to 90% of the people that ultimately you talk to about your business or opportunity are actually say yes. They're actually interested. Maybe they just have a few questions. It's a much different conversation. And basically eliminates rejection. You know, traditional network marketing, you're taught to operate selfishly. And one of the keys that we teach here at Attraction Marketing is how to operate from a place of service so that you are focused on helping your perfect prospects find the solutions to their problems. And in traditional network marketing, you're taught to like hype up the company, hype up the product of the company. Here at Attraction Marketing, we teach you guys how to make yourself, you, the most valuable part of that relationship, where the company plays a role, the product plays a role, but you actually become more valuable as a resource, as a connection, as a friend than any of those other things. And that's really what attraction marketing is all about. And so the question you guys might be asking at this point is, okay, that sounds great, Fernie, but how does it work? How do I, how do I make this kind of like wonderful, heavenly, utopian situation possible? And the truth is, it starts with busting the myth of everyone is your prospect. Everyone is not your prospect. Every business in the world that is big and successful has something we call a target market. When we define a target market, what we're saying is these are the groups of people that have the problems and the desires that are what we offer solves. And so that's the first thing you got to do in order to be an effective networker, effective network marketer. You need to build a network of people that are in your target market, create relationships and attract people that are in that target market, of people that already have the problems or the desires that what you're offering directly solves. And this is important because when you're taught to build from your warm market, for example, warm market can work if you do it right. But the thing is that with your warm market, the least effective approach, the one that's going to result in most rejection and most pain and people getting pissed off at you, is if you basically try to pitch what you have to every single person in your warm market. That is going to lead to a lot of rejection because that's still going by the philosophy of everyone in is your prospect. If everyone is not your prospect, then how do you operate with your warm market? Well, let me illustrate something that'll hopefully give you guys some clarity. I'm gonna actually share here we go. It worked. All right. So imagine if all these lines, and there's probably a few billion of these lines, but imagine if all these lines represented different people. And this group of people here was the perfect prospect. Like they are the people that have the problems and the desires, the wants, the result that what your solution offers. And so it would make sense that if your solution, has certain problems and certain desire, or solves certain problems and delivers on a certain result or certain desire, that you just target those people, that you figure out, how do I attract those people to me? But what traditional network marketing does is it basically has you go after all these people. And by the way, if this sample group is representative of like 8 billion people that are in the world, then this sample group here is a pretty big size, depending on what you're offering. So real businesses, real entrepreneurs, that stands for 8 billion. So if all these lines, represent everyone in the world, and the people that are most likely to like, oh my God, I am so glad I found you because I'm having the problem that your thing actually solves. If all this little, I guess these two lines actually represent a big chunk of the population who have the problems and the results that your solution delivers on. So why the hell would you waste your time talking to everybody else about what you have? Because sometimes you think that some of these people over here, have the problem that my solution solves, but they still don't care about your solution because they don't think they have a problem, or they just are kind of like, yeah, I'm overweight, but so what? Like, whatever. It's just, that's the way I'm going to be. That's the way my body is. So those people are going to be hard to convince to get a weight loss solution if they like don't realize there's a problem to begin with. You want to talk to the people first that realize they have a problem, that they know, like they know and are actively seeking a solution to solve their problems. They've maybe bought and invested in other things that solve their problem, or that tried to solve their problem but didn't. But that person is willing to invest money, so they're highly qualified, they're motivated, they're aware they have a problem. And so if they meet somebody like you that specializes, that's knowledgeable about the process for solving their problem and the products they need to use, then it actually becomes an easy sell. You don't actually need to sell. And the way you attract people like this is through what we do called attraction marketing. And there's lots of ways to attract people. You can attract people one-on-one, or you can attract people like, en masse. So you have social media tools that allow you to attract your perfect prospects passively as well as actively. Networking, people go to networking events because they're trying to, obviously strike up conversations with a potential prospect. But hey, if I have let's say if I have a weight loss solution, I would want to go to a networking event where there's people there that are actively seeking a solution for weight loss. I want to go to a networking event for lawyers. I want to go to a networking event for let's say doctors or engineers or what, accountants. I would go to a networking event where there's people, probably people that have the problem that I have a solution for. And so the same thing works. There are strategies for being able to actively or passively attract people online that are in your target market, that already have the problem and seek the result that your solution provides. So what happens is when you attract or when you meet people that already are in your target market that have these set of problems, and you strike up a conversation and get to know them, inevitably, like almost all the time, eventually, they will talk about their desire to seek a solution. And if you go, hey, by the way, man, I actually help people with that. Would you be interested in learning more? And they're like, hell yeah, I'd be interested in learning more. Like, that's exactly what I'm looking for. Okay, cool. Let's, and then you take the next step. It's a very natural thing. Notice how when your friends talk to you about their problems, and you actually have a suggestion around how to solve that problem in their life, they don't go, screw you, I don't need your help. No, get away from me. No, they actually go, oh yeah, what do you know? Like, who do you recommend, or what do you recommend? They like lean in. That is a situation where you are now attractive. Now you can use, that's a one-on-one situation. You can use a situation where you can attract a lot of people. There's different ways to do it. One way to do it is like, let's say you do a TikTok or a reel, where the message of that video is put out there, and it's directly speaking to the problems and the results that people want in your target market. And if people see that, they're interested. So that's the other, part of this equation is your message. When you put something out there, a piece of content, your message needs to match your target market. And the message cannot be, here's the counterintuitive thing. The message cannot be about your product. The message cannot be about your company. The message needs to be talking to your audience about the problem and demonstrate and talking about the result that people can achieve. It may be your message, you're sharing your story, your result, your testimony with what you've accomplished with your product. And that's one way to do it, is you just share a story. And if your story matches the desired result that somebody wants to achieve, then that is a message that they're going to be drawn to. There's ways to do it with advertising. There's ways to do it through YouTube organic. And that's all the stuff that we teach here at Attraction Marketing. But the point is that your message, what the content you put out there, needs to match the thing that's top of mind for your target market. When you do that, you become attractive. There's guys, if you're getting value from this, drop me a number 2. I got a little more teaching to do, and then we'll be done. So I just want to know that this is valuable to you. This is insightful for you. Now, there's a quote by Peter Drucker. Peter Drucker's just world famous entrepreneur, legendary entrepreneur, has written a number of books. But he has a quote. He says, "The aim of marketing is to make selling superfluous. The aim of marketing is to know and understand the customer so well that the product or service fits him and sells itself." So that's what I was talking about when I was doing this thing here, is if the problems of your prospects are here, you want to meet them there. You don't want to meet somebody that doesn't have those problems with a solution that doesn't fit them. If somebody, if somebody is not looking to lose weight, or if somebody's a fitness instructor, then your weight loss solution won't help them. And that's an example. I'm using weight loss because it's an easy example, but there's other things. We work with our students heavily on this topic of defining a target market. But the aim of marketing is to make selling superfluous, sells itself. Now, superfluous means unnecessary. So when you make selling unnecessary, what also happens is you make the customer or the prospect feel like they're 100% in control of their decision to move forward. They don't feel like they're being sold to or convinced to. They don't feel like there's high pressure on them of any kind. And that's what ultimately the reason I fell in love with attraction marketing is because, one, the prospect felt like the decision was theirs and they felt like they were being served. And two, I didn't have to do any selling anymore. And that's essentially what we teach here. It's like you have a choice. You can either sell everybody. If you're selling, everybody's your prospect, and you're gonna have conversations with everybody and probably convince and manipulate your way to recruiting that person. That's selling. Or if you're marketing, you're drawing people that already have the problems that you have from a knowledge standpoint and you have as a product standpoint helps to solve. And it's a very natural transition. It's like it just fits. It just clicks in, if you know what I mean. So that's what you need to have with your target market. We teach, that's the first thing we teach here at Attraction Marketing. It's the most important topic. In fact, it's the secret sauce that makes attraction marketing work. Whether you're doing ads or whether you're doing organic social media building, the message that you put out there needs to match your target market. And therefore, you need to know your target market better than they know themselves. So guys, if this has been valuable for you, if the discussion around target market is something you find intriguing, drop me a number 5. If you want to learn more about target market, drop me a number 5. I'm happy going to be doing these live trainings weekly here in our Facebook group. And I have one more thing to share. If you're somebody that's new to our community, if you're discovering attraction marketing for the first time, maybe you've already interacted or had some dealings with some of our competitors, many of them who are our former students. They learned everything from here. But if you're still not getting the result you're looking for and you're looking for help, I want to offer you an opportunity to have a conversation. That we're not going to sell you anything on that conversation. It's really just to explore whether we have the ability to help you or not. There are actually some direct sales businesses that might not be the best fit, but we just want to support you and want to point you in the right direction. We have free resources in this group and on our website, but depending on what you need, maybe your time is better spent on one of those resources versus doing all of those resources. And so if you'd like to have a conversation, type in the chat or in the comments, I am ready. And one of our attraction marketing specialists will reach out to you and see how we can support you further. So when I talk about our students here at Attraction Marketing, we have a 15-year history teaching attraction marketing. We were the first in this space to teach people how to take their business online. And I believe we're the best, but there's only one way to prove it, is to like have a conversation and have us show you what we can do. So that is it, guys. Hopefully this was valuable to you. Drop I'm ready in the chat if you want to have a conversation with somebody, or if you've already had a conversation, that's cool too. If you're already a student, that's great. That's great too. But we want to support you, and getting target market dialed in, I guarantee you, will be the most important part of anything you do related to attraction marketing. It's the first thing you do, and it's the most important thing you do. If you get this right, everything else kind of falls into place, regardless of what social media platform you're using. Facebook, YouTube, TikTok, Instagram, whatever. If you don't get this right, then it's going to be an uphill battle, no matter how great and sexy your strategy is. Whether it's TikTok, whether you're being taught how to do reels and you're learning all the different functionality and all that stuff will be useless if you don't get your target market down first. So guys, take it easy. I will see you guys next week. Hope this was valuable. Type I'm ready in the chat to have a conversation with somebody. It's not a sales call. No one's going to sell you on that call. We're here to support you. And that's a wrap. Take care.